Hey guys, Adrienne Green here, and as a real estate agent and a real estate investor, I here on my channel share a lot of information to help other real estate investors with their real estate investing. So if this is helpful for you, please make sure to thumbs up the video and subscribe to the channel so that you can continue to get notified when I have more videos put out. Today's video is about short and midterm rentals in the Chattanooga, Tennessee market. I'm going to do a little introduction to it. It's a topic that a lot of my investor clients ask about, and there's not a lot of information on the internet about it. So I wanted to kind of give a little intro to the big picture here and then hopefully provide you more specific information through other videos on our website, etc. Going forward. So overall, the Chattanooga market has a very strong demand for both short-term rentals and mid-term rentals, and let's take a closer look at each. So a short-term rental is a rental for less than 30 days. It can be 1 night, 2 nights, 7 nights. It's less than 30 days. And the demand for short-term rentals is pretty strong here in the Chattanooga area. It's a big tourist destination. They also host a lot of races and triathlons. So we get a lot of athletes here for those weekends throughout the year. And it's also a weekend destination from the Atlanta and Nashville market. So a lot of people come here for 2 or 3 day weekend from there. The fall time can be really popular with the leaves changing. But honestly, other than like the dead of winter, I'd say the other 9 months of the year are very popular. And our winters here are so mild that it's really still not that bad. It's just in general, I think year round, most areas people aren't traveling much in January, February, unless they're going to Florida, right? So that's where the demand comes from. It is, like I said, pretty consistent throughout, and there may be a permit required for a short-term rental. The city of Chattanooga, the city of Eastridge, and Red Bank, they all have regulations about short-term rentals. In some areas of Chattanooga, short-term rentals are not allowed. Signal Mountain and Lookout Mountain are two areas that come to mind like that. In the North Georgia, we tend to see a little bit less restrictions on that. And so especially in North Georgia, we see some more like mountain short-term rentals that have beautiful views, things like that. A property manager can help walk you through the permitting and the restrictions and things like that. Of course, it is possible to look up that information yourself, but it is a little bit more legwork to do it yourself. Now, there are a few property managers here who do manage short-term rentals. Their fees range from either 15 to 40% of the gross income from that short-term rental. That's relatively common. Short-term rentals are a lot more work, so they do typically have a higher fee. From my experience, and I'm not saying that this is, wide-ranging, but from what I have seen, I would say the industry standard for short-term rentals is 30%, but it can vary a lot by property type, location, etc. So here in Chattanooga, we see typically from as little as 15% up to 40%. So that's kind of short-term rentals in a nutshell, and what their demand is and what it looks like. Then we have what's called a mid-term rental. And the key differentiator there is a mid-term rental is for a minimum of 30 days. All right, both short-term and mid-term are furnished rentals usually, but with that mid-term, we're doing a minimum of 30-day stay. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to not be concerned about any of the city ordinances or regulations, because all of those are for under 30-day stays. So that midterm rental market really takes a lot of the regulation and permitting stuff off of your plate. But you're like, who's going to stay in a furnished rental for 30 days or longer? There's actually a lot of demand here in the Chattanooga area, and there's very little supply. The most well-known demand for midterm rentals is, of course, travel nurses. And Chattanooga has several hospitals here that do use travel nurses. And so there is a lot of demand for travel nurses. If you want to look more into that, our hospitals here, our big hospital chains are Erlanger and CHI. And then we also have a lot of people who are moving to or from the area and just need temporary housing. I have clients who are moving to the area, and right now they're staying in a travel van that they had outfitted because they had such a hard time finding a furnished midterm rental here. And I've met several people who are staying in furnished midterm rentals because they're house hunting or they sold their house and they need a place to stay until they're ready to move or until they're ready to get into their new house or things like that. So I think that the midterm rental market can be really great. When I've spoken to property managers about it, they've said that they've had a very high occupancy rate for that demographic, which would have been my main concern, right? Like, how do you stack these different stays so that you have minimum downtime in between? But they say that as soon as they know that end date, they start advertising it as available starting on that end date, and they get it booked, and it's been like in the 90s. Another thing to consider with a midterm rental and short-term rental is you can set something up as a midterm rental while you're applying for that short-term rental permit. So if you are in an area that does require a permit, then I would say if the numbers work as a midterm rental, then you're going to get more as a furnished midterm rental than you would as a long-term rental, but you're not going to get the same nightly rate you would as a short-term rental, right? It's not like the same equivalent to a hotel. That's not going to be a comparable rate there. But you are going to get more as a midterm rental than an unfurnished long-term rental. So if you are a little concerned with getting a short-term rental and a permit, run the numbers as a midterm rental and say, will that be good enough? And if so, you can always do that as a plan B or a backup. Do expect lower management fees in a midterm rental if you go the property manager route. It can, of course, vary based on property manager and the exact situation, but we're going to be probably above that 10% of a long-term manager, but below the 15 to 40% range. So I'm going to say a midterm rental is probably going to be more in like the 15 to 25 or 30% range for a management fee. So that's what you can kind of look forward to there. So huge demand here for short-term rentals and midterm rentals. I think it's a really exciting opportunity for clients to get involved and for investors to get into the market here. And if you did want to self-manage with, just want to throw, if you wanted to self-manage these, there are a good number of cleaners in the Chattanooga area that specialize in like short-term or midterm rental cleaning. And I do have a couple references for that I could throw out to you. So if this is something you're interested in the Chattanooga market, please reach out. Happy to help you find the properties, connect you with property managers or cleaners, or provide you all the services you need in order to make that happen and to make it be profitable and easy for you as possible. Thank you so much for your time today. Reach out if you have any questions. Adrienne Green here. Have a great day.